short of a rainy, dreary, miserable day here in Rochester, New York. So I figured this week would be a good opportunity for me to do another edition of the advice column. So this would be the part where I would tell you that I am in sunny, beautiful downtown Rochester, New York, except that that is absolutely not the case today. So if you recall from several weeks back, I started a little project on Reddit called the advice column, and it's an open offer, free, unbiased, and hopefully useful advice for whatever it is you're dealing with and whatever problem you're trying to overcome or whatever decision you're trying to make. And the first round got some pretty good results. Generally, I was told I did a decent job with it. Another couple of folks have spoken up on the Reddit, and that again is going to be reddit.com/advice_column. I'll have the link in the description below. So if you have something that you want to ask and you think that maybe I can be of some kind of help to you, please post it there. And I will do my best to answer and hopefully be something that I can help you with. So first question in today's advice column comes from Reddit user LostBeing45. LostBeing45 writes, I got into a fist fight started by another student. I wasn't hurt. My parents found out and confronted me about it. I relayed the truth, but they received a twisted version of it. I'm a senior in high school, but they treat me like a little kid and believe nothing I say. I don't know what to do or what to say. Please help. So, LostBeing45, I can tell you that I have been there, but as the parent in that conversation. My oldest son is a high school senior now, and if I got word of something like this, I know for me, I would certainly confront him just like your parents confronted you. Give an opportunity to explain his side of it and try not to rush to judgment. Does that make me any better than your parents? Probably not. The reason I'm willing to listen to my son's side of the story is he's never given me a reason not to. When things do happen, he's come to me and said, hey, I need you to know about this situation. The key thing about being a parent of a young adult is we need to know that you are aware of things like right and wrong and that you understand the difference between passing blame and taking accountability. While I can empathize with your situation, I have to tell you that there's always two sides to every story. In a lot of cases, there's three sides to every story. There's the one side, there's the second side, and then there's the truth somewhere in the middle. Less to do with the actual incident that happened with your school. Your question makes me want to ask you, how is your relationship with your parents, generally speaking? Do you talk to them often? Do you eat dinner with the family regularly? Do you interact with the family? I'm asking because I really do think that there's a bigger issue than just this fight at school. You're telling me you're a high school senior. You've got to be at least 16, if not 17, maybe even pushing 18 years old at this point. You're about to jump into being a full-on adult. I'm thinking that maybe your parents have always treated you like a little kid and not given you a chance to really mature in their eyes. When you have conversations with your parents, do you find that voices are raised and emotions are high? Do you throw your hands up in frustration every time they try to talk to you about something? I'm not trying to take your parents' side of this. I'm just trying to really get to the root cause of what's going on here. This is your opportunity to step up and show your parents that you're not a little kid anymore. Go to them. Ask if you can sit down and just talk to them for a minute. Stay calm, keep your voice even, don't act scared or frustrated, and don't instantly be on the defense like you know they're going to attack you. It's critical in this new conversation that you keep your emotions under control and say something like, okay, I hear you, but I want to try to explain my side a little bit better than I did last time. What I'm saying to you, LostBeing45, is have a grown-up conversation with your parents. Most adults can have rational conversations with each other over difficult issues. It's possible to discuss situations like this without being emotional or attacking or becoming defensive. I hope that you see this answer or read the answer that I left you on Reddit, and I look forward to seeing if maybe you'll follow up with me and let me know how that conversation went. So the final submission that I have for you today is a little bit of a heavier topic, so I hope you bear with me on this one. This is kind of a difficult story to read. This comes from NateLZ. NateLZ gets right to the point, so let's get into it. My mother is in the hospital, severely ill with chronic conditions. My parents live in a house that I own, 3 states away from where I am, and even further away from my siblings. My father has a troubled history, and he refuses to tell anyone in the family anything about our mother's condition. None of my siblings nor I trust our father to care for her, and we're concerned about the possibilities of abuse and neglect at this point in her life. I feel that my mother is in need of relocation, but she refuses to leave. I understand she's a proud woman and does not want to leave her house, technically my house. I feel like my only option is to evict them, forcing her to move in with my sister who has everything set up to care for our mother. I'm trapped here between a rock and a hard place. Nate, I am so sorry to hear that you and your family are going through this, and I really hope your mom is okay. This is tough, and I can't imagine what it must be like to be a young adult who's watching your parents go through growing older and medical issues and health issues. I imagine it's got to feel somewhat powerless. I lost my mother in 2000, so it's been 17 years now. I was living out of state, I was far away, she passed away very suddenly. My father was never in the picture, and I haven't ever really talked about him much, but he never played a factor in any of our lives. But it sounds like you have a very difficult situation when it comes to dealing with your father who's not being open or cooperative. Here's my thought, and probably the best advice that I can give you. As far as I know, there is not a place in this great United States of America where there is not a Department of Social Services that is charged with the protection of not only children, but aging adults as well. I'm pretty confident that every state has specific laws regarding elder abuse, and if they don't in your state, there's probably federal laws that are covering it as well. The primary concern is your mother's health and safety, so I'm hoping that if she's at least in a medical facility, there might be a better way to communicate, but that could be difficult too because you're not the spouse. The hospital may not be willing to give you information. Of course, you are 100% within your rights as the owner of that home to take whatever legal action you feel is necessary. But I would caution, and my initial thought would be, you may be placing your mother at more of a risk by evicting, because even by sending them out of your house, you have no guarantee that she will actually end up with your sister as the plan would go. I just feel like there's a little bit too much of a risk of her ending up indigent, or she may end up in a worse living situation than the one she's in right now in your house. Again, I really just want to urge you to at least reach out and contact the local authorities where they're located. Let them know your concerns. If nothing else, there can at least be an investigator sent to check on your mom and make sure that everything that's happening is above board and in her best interest and safety. There comes a time when, as an adult, you have to be ready to make some difficult decisions on behalf of your elder parents when they can't make them for themselves anymore. I mean, it really must suck to have to be the parent in a situation when you're supposed to be the kid. But I want to stress to you, Nate, that that is not a betrayal. Not when it comes from a position of love and caring and concern. I would say to you that as long as you have done all of the homework, as long as you have turned over every stone and tried everything you possibly can to find a better answer for your mom's health and safety, then any action you take that you feel may be drastic, you're doing it out of love and concern for your parents. It may be a decision that ultimately you have to make. Nate, I'm so sorry that you're going through this and that your family's going through this. I want nothing more than for your mom to be okay and for things to stabilize for her and you and your whole family. I don't know if my advice is any good in this situation, but at least maybe an outside perspective and someone who's not too close to the situation might offer you a glimmer of insight into some possible ways to go about handling the situation. Whew, okay, so that was a pretty heavy one, right? But I really want to thank Lost Being 45 and NateLZ for reaching out. Again, guys, reddit.com/advice_column. Maybe I can help. Please post your questions. Let me know what you think of the ongoing advice column series. If you've got any suggestions on what I can do differently or how I can do this better, I am all ears. I will take your advice. If you are seeing this for the first time, welcome to Driving Me Crazy. Thank you for taking some time out of your day to listen to me. I really appreciate it, and I hope that I've respected your time. I hope that you find the content here interesting enough that you'll hit that subscribe button and come along for the ride with us. And of course, if you are a subscriber, you know you need to hit that notification bell next to the subscribe button so that you see when the videos are posted. Well, that is all the time I have for today, so I am going to get on back to work and get the rest of my day done here. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the road.